Good evening, everyone. Namaste to you. Welcome to Sunday Night Alive. So happy to be here with you tonight. I'm so in need myself of a little bit of silence and meditation. So we're going to do that together tonight. So welcome to Sunday Night Alive. My name is Reverend Denise Schubert. I'm the spiritual director at the Center for Spiritual Living in Cape Coral, which is hosting and sponsoring this event tonight. Our purpose for tonight is to meditate for a few minutes together, to get still and to prepare ourselves for the week to come in consciousness. And we have a little bit of a message, which is awaken, and not in any kind of arrogant or flippant way, but awakening is our purpose for being here, is to become more aware of our spiritual identity and our spiritual genesis, which means that we can live in life a little bit separated from the trauma drama that is surrounding us, all the chaos that's surrounding us, because, I don't know. I think we might think it's not important, or we might think it's trivial, but the fact is that if we don't bring love to this planet, who will? If we don't bring peace to this planet, who will? If we don't bring humanity to this planet, who will? So I'm here, 75 years young, and if I do nothing else on this planet in the decade or 2 or 3 that I have left, I'm going to do my part to bring peace and love to this planet. So the format for Sunday Night Alive is I'll deliver a message, but please, if you're here with me, say hello. There's a comment section, so you can say hello, tell me that you're here, which is always good, because that means that I'm not talking to myself into a camera, that I actually have people here with me who are sharing this vision of a world that works for everyone. So before I get into the message and before we begin to meditate, I'd like to tell you a couple of things. One is that if you feel called to give back, you can do that. And you might want to take a picture of this, because I'm not going to revisit it once we get started. You can give back through text to give, this is the number. It's incredibly easy and very, very, it's just incredibly easy to do. So you can, all of your donations are tax deductible. They go to the Center for Spiritual Living, or you can also go to our website at any time and also donate. So with that out of the way, we can kind of dive into our topic tonight, which is awaken. So awakening is not so much about doing anything other than discovering your spiritual identity. So mostly one of my teachers, Dr. Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, he used to say that we are all sleepwalking, meaning we're going through life not understanding that we are powerful spiritual beings. In fact, it could be said that we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience, and our playground is the earth. So we are not victims. All the chaos around us, the violence around us, the news around us is not who we are, and it's not the end game. Gandhi said, in the end, only love will win. Love will win. That this confusion we have about who we are and what our purpose here is ridiculous, because I can't remember. I think it was Jesus who said, don't you know that ye are gods, that we are gods. We are deities in the flesh, and that our only job description here is love. Ernest Holmes, of course, who is the founder of Science of Mind, who is the founder of all the Science of Mind philosophy, faith, and way of life, of which I am a minister and of which I am the spiritual director of the Centers for Spiritual Living in Cape Coral. There are many, many of us all around the world. And Ernest Holmes said, the whole process of life is one of awakening, is one of coming out of the hypnotism of the news, the hypnotism of what's surrounding us, the forgetfulness of what human beings experience. Because when you are identifying yourself with your spiritual essence, with the truth of your being, when that happens, we stop harming ourselves, we stop harming the earth, we stop harming animals. We simply move into a space of inclusivity and connection rather than separation and divisiveness. And so if there is going to be a spiritual awakening on this planet, if we ever hope to live in peace, which, by the way, has never happened. I mean, we've never lived in peace as human beings. We've always been captured by the ego. We've always been greedy. We've always been about us and them, you and me. So, but it's not hopeless, because in the end, love always wins. But you have to choose what side you're on. And when you choose what side you're on, you get to also choose how you want to show up in the world. Now, by the way, if you were with me last week, we did a 21-day challenge. And the 21-day challenge was, can you go through your day without negativity, without criticism, without tearing somebody or someone down, without complaining, criticizing, without gossip. It's a challenge to see if we can begin to shift our approach in life to one of, if we were, I mean, how do we think that God sees us? Do you think God is complaining? And some of you don't like the word God, and you don't have to use it. We can use other words. We can use life. We can use universal intelligence. We can use the Atman presence. We could use love. But nonetheless, it is who you are. You are made in the image and likeness of love. And we might have forgotten, because as children, we might have been misused, abused, uneducated, miseducated, but it's never too late to awaken. And your awakening, by the way, is not only for the world, it's also for you. Can you imagine living your life happy and prosperous and healthy? And not that you're not going to die, not that nothing bad is ever going to happen, but it could be so much better than it is for most people. My next door neighbor died yesterday. I was going out to the grocery store, and there were ambulances and sheriff's vehicles next door. And my neighbor drank himself to death. Honest to God, he sat in his house and drank enough vodka until he died. And I didn't know him very well, but how sad when where we live is a paradise. We live in paradise. And how can we not know that? How can we not know that we live in paradise? So I don't want that for any of us. I want us to be happy people. I do. I want us to, because the more you embrace your true identity, the more loving you will be, the more compassionate you will be, the more kind you will be, the more empathetic you will be. And when we begin to do that, we will find friends everywhere. We will find companionship. We will cease to be lonely or poor or sick. We will eat better, sleep better, exercise better, worship better. We will be better if we can just awaken to our spirit. That's our theme. Awaken. You see, awaken to our spiritual identity. So Deepak Chopra said, awakening is not changing who you are, but discarding who you are not. So you are not weak. You're not too fat, too thin, too ugly, too beautiful, too old, too sick. That you're not any of those things. You are the very life and expression of the divine, whatever that means to you. That we live in a kind of I think it's actually very much a kind of a matrix. Like we've just been conned into thinking that this life is about money, or this life is about power, or this life is about being white, or this life is about being black, or this life is about being, it's not about any of that. It's about connecting and about healing ourselves so that we become bearers of love in a world that deeply needs love. You know, Rumi said, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." So you are not separate. It's like leaves on a tree. You know, we think of ourselves as each leaf thinks itself separate from the other leaf, but the fact is that the root system of the tree feeds the entire tree. And that is really who we are. We are connected to each other. Connection is the truth of our being. So, what I want you to do in this coming week, besides not gossiping, not complaining, not spewing negativity, not trashing other people with your words or your thoughts, but to also to recognize and to practice unity, to realize that you are connected to all other human beings, all other animals, all plants, all insects. We share something that when we know that, it will uplift our lives. And in the upliftment of our lives, we feel healthier, we feel happier. I promise you. So practice this week uh, contemplating unity rather than separation. Just contemplate it. Just think about it. Whenever you feel, when you watch the news, well, by the way, if you watch the news and it annoys you or angers you or riles you up, don't watch the news because it's not that it isn't happening, but the fact is it's only happening because we're not awake. Because most people are sleepwalking, thinking that the ego's in charge and that we really are separate, and we are not. So tonight, let's meditate on the idea that of this quote. I love this quote. You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. You are not. You are the entire ocean in a drop. You are made of the same substance of everyone and everything, that you are connected and united to everyone. And that everyone, by the way, not just the people who are like us, not just spiritual people, not just American people, not just that everyone, even the people you don't like, even the people who even now are doing horrendous things, they are the same as you. They are made in the image and likeness of that which has created everything. They don't know that because they're not awake. You may not know that because you're not awake. And this is not an elitist idea. It's just we awaken to our spiritual identity and say, oh my God, I am amazing. I'm amazing. I'm whole, perfect, and complete in this moment. I always have been, and I always will be. And if you are here on this planet, in this playground called Earth, you are here to contribute something. And that something is not money, that something is not power, that something is not winning, that something is not dominance, that something is love or compassion or forgiveness or kindness. That's what it is. That is your job description, no matter whether you're a dentist or a nurse or a doctor or a minister. It doesn't matter. So we're going to move into a period of 15 minutes of meditation. I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to leave this quote up on the screen. And I'm going to pray us in. I'm going to bless our time in meditation. And at the end of the meditation, I will also come back and pray us out. But for 15 minutes, I invite you to meditate, to turn off your phone, turn off your TV, put your dogs outside, uh, let your body be totally comfortable. So whether you're sitting in a chair or you're laying on the floor or your legs up the wall, do whatever you need to do to be comfortable. And this time of meditation is just to be still and to contemplate your unity with all of life. 15 minutes. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to interrupt. We're going to start and we're going to end. And at the end, I will slowly bring you out and then I will pray us out without any further conversation. So, I do have a little background ambient music, which I'm going to play, which is soothing to the meditation process. But I am doing this for the Centers for Spiritual Living in Cape Coral so that we meditate. The whole thing is so that we meditate together because meditation is really the point. All right, so I'm going to put some music on and pray us in. There we are. Okay, so, and your job is simply to breathe. All right, so here we go. So I simply just take a moment to speak a word of blessing upon us as we move into meditation, simply recognizing that we are surrounded by a power and a presence that is infinite, that is eternal, that is changeless, that has been this way for all time. And so simply allow yourself to, in this moment, feel yourself a part of it. You are not merely a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. That whatever this thing is we're talking about, it is the very essence of who you are. You live and move and have your beingness in this presence, which I call God, but you can call anything that you want to call it. And so as we move into this time of meditation, I simply know that we relax, we let go, we become focused, and we breathe. And with every in-breath, we breathe in love. With every exhale, we breathe out love. That love is the name of the game tonight. And so just simply allow yourself to move into that space and place with me as we begin our meditation together. Mhm. So slowly bring yourself back to this moment. Take a breath, how good it is to connect with ourselves, how good it is to remember that we are connected, that we are awake, that we are alive, that we have choice. So I simply bless us as we move into this week, awake, aware. No water, focus. So grateful for just a few minutes of blessed peace as we close our week and prepare to move into our next week. Unbotherable by the news, unbotherable by the appearance of that which is temporary, and we are comforted by that which is eternal and permanent. So please join with me in solidarity as we vow to move into life kinder, gentler human beings. And so for this week's Sunday Night Alive, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. And I will see you next week at 6 p.m. on Sunday Night Alive. Have a blessed evening. God bless you.